starts because they got the first idea about themselves. They became aware about themselves. Till then we know they were not aware about it. The story says that the differentiation between man and woman started at that stage. They covered themselves because they were ashamed. That's what the story says. The point which is important for me at this point is the first thing which humans started thinking that it is mine. The sense of ownership started from that point. They thought this body is mine, that is yours. That is where our story starts. So the first thing humans felt as their own was themselves. Their own bodies. So they asserted ownership over their bodies from them. From there I will start this. So the first thing which humans had knowledge about was about themselves. They asserted their own identities, they acknowledged their own existence, and they started thinking that I own myself. We'll go fast forward by a few more centuries, because otherwise I will never come to Richard Stallman. What I will do is, I will trace some of the important events in the history of mankind and try to build it. I think the one thing that we have to see after this stage is the stage of agriculture. See, I have not even talked about what is the Indian version about the origin of world and other things. Don't even provoke me to do that. I start telling the story from that Veda, this Upanishad and all, we will never end. But anyway, let us, for the completeness sake, understand that such an idea exists even in India. In India, we do believe that, traditionally we do believe that everything started with Brahman. Brahma had some Manamantras, through them something started. Chandra married Buddha and got someone, and there was a long list of people who came. There was Manu. That is why we are all called Manushas, because of Manu. We are all descendants of Manu. Then there was Nahusha, there was Yayati, there was Kuru. There are many great people whom we can discuss. There was Shantanu, there was Bharata. There is a long lineage. Now the other version says that Shiva, when he was doing that cosmic dance, through his steps, the dust which came out created the universe. And when he played his instrument, that rhythm created the time. That is what is another theory. Or if you are Stephen Hawking, he will say, at the beginning, there was black material, what is that called? Dense cloud, and then Big Bang happened, and then the universe was created, whatever. So there are many theories. I am fast forwarding to agriculture, which according to biblical tradition was the curse to Adam. Agriculture for me is important because for the first time in the history of humans probably they had time. They had time in the hand. Before agriculture probably, if I am able to visualize, I think all of the time they were obsessed with trying to find food. Probably they did not have any time to do anything else. Somewhere when agriculture happened, that is when they started growing their own food, they started having enough time. One, they used the time to do something else, which I am coming. Second thing is, with agriculture, they started looking at nature in a very different way. How? For this I will go back to my favorite film, Space Odyssey. Think about the opening sequences in that movie probably is the landmark movie in the history of cinema throughout the world. That kind of movie has never come, probably will never. The way in which see the graphics that they have used in that movie, and if you watch the graphics they use in today's movie, can't even think that they have visualized all this in the 60s. I hope all of you have watched them. If you have not watched them, watch it. Or arrange for a screening. The opening sequence of the movie is very interesting. The origin of species is described there in a very unique way. Very interesting, very lyrical narrative. Music is too good. Photography is first class. The origin of man is depicted as when did man become man? The climax of that particular sequence is the moment he starts using some tool. The most primitive tool being the bone of a dead animal. That moment man happened. That is the version given there. I fully agree. I don't know much about the world, but in my limited knowledge I feel man is the only tool making animal. Probably. I don't know. I don't think any other animals make tools. Do they? Are there any animals which make tools? Huh? Our forefathers. They should be. Tool making animal. That means, see, at some point of time we started making tools and agriculture followed. That changed our equation with nature. Earlier, nature was someone whom we depended for everything. Nature was giving us food. Nature was giving us shelter, caves and other things. Nature was giving us everything. The moment we started making tools and when agriculture finally happened, the equation changed. Now nature was not a giver. But nature was this resource which had to be exploited. Nature was the enemy. Because you are growing food, if it rains more, the food will be spoiled. So rains are not welcome. Rivers earlier was giving you water, but now you have to control or change the course of the river. Nature was increasingly being seen as an oppressor. Nature was not the giver. Because now humans started making tools and started seeing nature as an enemy which needs to be tamed. That started with agriculture.